The bitch shaking it, showing it. You this, you that. We laughing at them together. Oh! So stop treating these mother like they mean something.
Let's go to TikTok.
You said Indians stink, right? So I stink.
There's a high likelihood you probably didn't put on deodorant today. Yes.
Okay. Would you trust like a engagement farm? You get a bunch of people. There's base atrocity. Would
Sure.
you?
What's up, man? How are you?
So you said Indians stink, right? So I stink.
There's a high likelihood you probably didn't put on deodorant today. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have a problem. I don't consider myself a liberal. I believe in things like free markets and things like that. Would
Sure.
you consider yourself like a man of ethics? Like you have an ethical code that you abide by, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, bro
Right.
code.
No, I mean like you talk a lot about the atrocities in Gaza and things of that
Yeah.
nature. So you have an ethical code, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So my thing here is, I think, because of social media, because of this thing, you have a huge class of just lonely, depressed men out there, basement dwelling, Redditors, you get the picture, right? And, I believe in free markets. There is profit to be made here, right? You go on social media, you engagement farm, you get a bunch of people on your side. But I'm saying if you stick to an ethical code, I still do believe that there is such thing as, there is a manliness problem. Yes. Do I think men should pay for a woman's meal, all those kinds of things? Of course. But, why don't we look towards the actual definition of manliness? Why don't we look towards greats like Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius? He began every day by meditating. Why don't we look at Buddha, who, came up with this idea of taking accountability for yourself, right? So whether or not you believe Jews control the world or women should be eradicated or whatever you believe,
Well, I never said that. Hold on.
I know you never said that. I'm sorry, I'm slipping up with my words, but I'm just saying, regardless of what you believe, don't you think we as men should say, no, it is within my control? Something so great about this country that most of the millionaires in this country are self-made. So my question is, it's like, you're funding, this theory that a lot of males subscribe to, putting blame on other things. And I'm not here to debate whether or not that's true. I'm just saying we as men should take accountability for our own actions.
Yeah, so when it comes to the problems that, face men, it's not about blaming other things, it's about identifying problems so that you can deal with it properly, right? So when it comes to male authority like you're discussing here, I'm all for that. I actually don't think women should work. I think men should be focusing on having families, being the breadwinners, taking care of the woman. She focuses on the children. However, we need to be able to identify the problems and the obstacles that keep men from doing that. And one of the big ones is feminism, which was a huge lie. And the problem is that men are held to a standard you can't give someone authority, right? Well, you can't give someone responsibility without that said authority.
Uh, no, no, here's me in a fucking. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Oh, here we go. All right, perfect. All right, all right, all right. Perfect, perfect. Anyways, back to this shit.
So my problem is that not necessarily that men need to man up, which they do. I say this all the time on my show. Guys need to stop being bums and fat and losers, and stop being. They need to start being competent. But the reality is that most women simply don't respect most men, and women are taught to do whatever they want to do and not respect the male's authority. But he's still held to a standard versus she isn't. So in other words, he's expected to be a gentleman and do his part as a guy. She's not expected to be a lady. And I'm here to identify and tell guys, look, your job is to be the protector and provider, but you can't do that for every single woman, especially a woman that thinks that she's equal to you or within the confinements of an egalitarian relationship. Because the issue is that most women want equality, right? But they still want you to be better than them in every single other way. They want you to be taller, make more money, have more status, etc. But then they don't want to listen to you when you say, make me a sandwich. That's a problem. So it's one or the other. You want me to be the protector provider? You got to follow what I say. But a lot of women don't want to do that.
Right, but there's a difference between identifying a problem and thinking about things that are within your control, right? So, like I said, the Buddha he nonstop talk about that. I mean, you look at statistics all over the world, who are the happiest people? It's not the people on social media. It's not the people who are making Jewish conspiracy theories or whatever the case is. It's the people who are only focused on what
it can't be a conspiracy theory if it can be proven. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
They can control. And I think your rhetoric is, okay, yeah, women are a problem, women are to blame, but most of your audience, the
feminism is one of the main problems.
Sure, feminism, whatever, but I'm saying the most people who are on your Rumble, watching and just spamming W's, they're the one, how can you identify a problem, fix a problem of feminism when you yourself are a basement-dwelling, kind of low-life bum who doesn't really contribute anything to the economy?
Well, no, that's a good question. That's precisely why I do my Money Monday shows. That's why I do my Womanizer Wednesday shows. That's why we do call-ins where people can ask questions, because it's not enough to just identify the problem. We also teach guys, this is how you make money. This is how you invest in real estate. This is how you invest in crypto. This is how you invest in index funds in the stock market. So we don't just identify the problem, but we give solutions to said problem. Because I agree with you. Just sitting there complaining and screaming at the clouds like, oh my God, bitches
But
are
isn't that what your platform is? It's like I go on your Twitter and it's nothing but just that. Like
Well,
I
what?
get it. Like
Making fun of Jews on Twitter?
yeah, or
That's
whatever.
hilarious.
Yeah, I understand it's hilarious and it makes you a lot of money, but I'm saying from an
Actually, I'm
ethical-
demonetized on Twitter.
Okay, it doesn't matter. There's money, there's revenue coming in. So I'm saying from an ethical standpoint, I understand there's profit to be made. Trust me, I love free markets. But I'm just saying, like, from an ethical standard, you're the one who's calling out the atrocities in Gaza,
Yep.
but you're mobilizing a community of people who are kind of just down on their luck. They have nobody but to blame but themselves, and there's just zero accountability.
What? I keep saying zero accountability. Nobody preaches that. Like, what do you keep going back to the same dumb shit you said earlier, bro? You already said that.
I think that's a huge problem in America. There is zero
Well,
accountability in men.
if you watch my content, not just the ones where I have girls on or me talk the political stuff, I tell guys all the time, you got to get in the gym, you got to be competent, you got to stop being a loser, stop crying, stop complaining. Well, I'm actually way harsher on men than I am on women, especially when I do my call-in show and they say, hey, this is where I'm at.
But then how come your poster is not men need to take accountability
Because men do. Men have no choice but to take accountability. When that fat ass nigga get up out of bed with the Cheeto dust on his fingers and he call his mom and ask her to come take him somewhere, that nigga's not getting bitches. That's how he gets that's the accountability he's getting. He's not getting bitches that's talking to that want to talk to him, that want to be with him. He's not getting females around him. He is by himself. There's the accountability right there. He feels that all the time. So
instead of transgender as a mental awareness, right? You're appealing to these dog whistles. Like, I'm supposed to be here, right? You're supposed to say, oh, there's a high probability I didn't put on deodorant. Like, you know what I'm saying? For you...
Kind of high, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny and it gets engagement. For you, I'm supposed to make a scene. I'm supposed to get all mad and...
No, you're not supposed to do that. That's the whole point. Like, you're supposed to be able to joke and laugh, because you know it's a joke.
Get on my high horse so there's engagement to be made. But I'm not doing that, right? I'm presenting you an argument, and you kind of deflect here. You're deflecting.
No, I'm not deflecting. It's that you're just speaking from a position where you're not totally aware of, the type of content I make. You're saying, hey, look, why don't you put more accountability on guys? And I'm here to tell you I do. Literally, I do. We just did a Money Monday the other day talking about how to pull your budget and make money and keep from being a brokey. And we literally did a whole show on that. Spent like almost 2 hours. It's just that stuff doesn't go viral, right? Like all my self-help stuff doesn't go viral. It's me talking about other things that go viral, but I absolutely do present all that other stuff because I agree with you. Identifying the problem simply isn't good enough. You must come up with solutions, but the problem is that solutions don't go viral.
But
I make a lot of different content. I do true crime, geopolitical stuff, everything, but the stuff that goes viral is the cultural stuff, unfortunately.
But what would you say about, statistically, people who exhibit levels of prejudice, people who are hateful people, 10 on average to have lower IQs? Do you factor that into your assessment of anything?
I'm a bit confused. You're saying so people that are prejudiced have higher IQs?
Lower IQs. They tend to have lower IQs.
I mean...
do you think it makes any of your fans money by going around and claiming dancing Israelis when most of us were born past 2001, the war in Iraq is kind of over, and all these sort of things? It's like, it's just...
Oh, you really don't watch my content. Yeah, dude.
Of course I don't watch your content because I wake up in the morning, I do my work.
No, that's fine.
I go to
But
class,
the thing is like I just love how you're like making all these like assumptions and you're totally wrong. That's actually the contrary. I tell people all the time, hide your power level. Don't talk about this shit when you're at school. Don't talk about this shit when you're at work. Don't mention anything when it comes to dealing with women or Jews or anything because I don't want people to get in trouble for this stuff, right? It's cost me millions of dollars.
But how does me believing that Jews control the world, how does that help me with my goal? How does that?
Well, you need to understand the power structure of the United States. If you don't understand who rules over you, then how are you going to figure out how to get power? Like, it's very important to understand who runs our government, how they run it, why they do the things that they do. And it's only probably within the last 2 years or so that people have woken up to Jewish power and Jewish supremacy in the United States, where it's getting us involved in a genocide that's been documented in 4K. I've been talking about this stuff before Gaza, right? But obviously that got me demonetized and created a whole bunch of problems. But it's good now that people are finally seeing where our tax dollars are going and they're seeing how it's manifesting. And it's manifesting in bombs over kids. So that's why I think it's important for people to understand, because if we want to change the structure, we need to identify the problems with the structure and then put those people in positions of power. But they're not going to get those positions of power if they're running around saying, it's the Jews. Like, no, we got to hide our power levels, acquire power, and then take our country back.
All right, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I really wish that you could just level with me, kind of put down the character, and actually understand what goes into it. Because
Yeah, I'm the same guy on and off camera, man. I don't know what really to say here. Like, it is what it is. I just don't.
no, but I'm saying it's just like a politician.
Literally.
There's a profit incentive to be made. You have a
You don't
large
make profit talking about the shit that he talks about. I don't understand why he keeps saying that.
fan base of people. They're on their discords.
If
you
my
know,
goal was to even
you
make
don't
money,
make-
this is the stupidest way to make money. By the
Right,
way,
you don't make
I
crazy
don't think so.
money.
You're
it's
making great
absolutely the
money.
dumbest way to make money. But dude, if
And
I
it's
want to
not
make
just money that's
I would be a
motivating you.
progressive.
It's
If
not
I
money
wanted to
that's
make
just-
money, I would be a progressive. I would, talk about feminism being great. I'd be taking a leftist approach to anything, because the problem is that when you're a conservative, especially someone like me, you get banned, you get censored, you get, demonetized. So, I truly do believe this because I've lost millions of dollars doing it, and that.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever it is, it could be money or fame. But like I said, like for example, Hakeem Jeffries came here last semester. The only people in his audience were just well-to-do white people. You have a very, very potent and concentrate, fan base that is willing to ride or die for you. That's really powerful.
Yeah, because we're all tired of the faggotry. That's why. Like, we're literally tired of the faggotry. Like right now, I'll be honest, like right now you're trying to tone police or whatever. This is precisely what I'm rebelling against. Like this whole, should men take more accountability? Well, isn't it kind of retarded to talk about the dancing Israelis? Oh, well, isn't it like
I'm just saying it's a waste of time. I'm just saying it's a waste of time.
Yeah, well, I would beg to differ.
Because I think about every morning what is in my control. And what is in my control? Going to class, making money, taking care of my family, those sorts of things, right?
Sure.
I'm not going to gain any profit. I'm not going to gain any, enlightenment or anything like that if I'm on my Twitter just looking at a bunch of, Jewish conspiracy theories. That's my
Well, not really conspiracy theories. They're true.
Okay, but I'm telling you,
like they're 100%
my
true.
argument is if I don't really care if or not it's true. That's not my argument. I'm just saying it's just a waste of time. And if you want to maximize your time, I think it's more important to wake up in the morning, stay disciplined.
Acquiring knowledge on female nature and how to navigate the dating marketplace so that you can pick the appropriate wife so she doesn't ruin your life is a waste of time. Figuring out how the United States is run and who actually funds it and who's behind everything is a waste of time. I would disagree. I think that's extremely important to people, especially.
That sounds like a nigga answer. This is a waste of time. Learning is a waste of learning stuff about the U.S. That's a waste of time.
Young men
Some
who
nigga shit.
constantly get lied about how the world
Learning
really
who
works.
runs the government
All right, then I
is a
guess we
waste
get
of
to agree to
time.
disagree. But I really appreciate you
No
talking
worries.
to me.
Yeah, no
Okay, have
problem,
a
man.
good rest of your day.
You too, man. Take it easy. Who's up next?
Morning, Pete. Coffee's
These are
on and your
just
Uber's on
fucking-
its way.
I've been
Uber
thinking.
is free, y'all. It is free. You don't have to pay for it. YouTube is free.
Yo.
Rumble is free.
Hey, how are you, man?
Kick
What's
is
up, man? How are
free.
you?
All that
I'm
shit is
doing
free,
well.
guys.
I am just coming across you right now, so I don't really know a lot about you. Is this partially joking around, or are you serious about all the claims that you've made?
Which one in particular?
Like you said earlier that women are stupid.
Yes, they are.
You're serious about that? Okay.
You said
Yeah.
you're serious
Do you
about
have
that.
women in your life?
Of course.
Yeah. Well, I do too. No, I have a mom. I have a beautiful mother, right? And she's extremely intelligent. She's smarter than I am. I grew up in a large family, and I had two sisters, and both of them are extremely intelligent, smarter than I am, right? I have a younger sister who is studying
nigga
biochem
glazing
at
like
University of
crazy.
Tampa and doing extremely well with that. So how can you make this broad generalizing statement that women are stupid? Are you not talking help me to understand?
Yeah. So when I say that, what I'm talking about is feminism was a lie.
Yeah.
And a lot of women are stupid for buying into it because it creates a lot of problems.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you agree? For example, I'll just give an example of a lie that men have bought into, right?
Sure.
I think pornography is a lie that men have bought into, right?
I agree. I think
So-
pornography is very bad.
Yeah, it's terrible, and a lot of guys use it, and they use it a tremendous amount. From your logic, I could say that men are stupid, men are retarded. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I would argue that most dudes are retarded, but here's the difference.
Yeah.
Men get told that they're stupid, women don't. As a matter of fact, the fact that
Gotcha. That's the point, and that's why niggas don't understand that. We get told that nigga, like I said, that fat ass nigga that come out the house, he's getting told he's a fat ass nigga. He's gonna get told that. Okay, bitches are gonna say, "Ew, no, fatty." They're gonna tell him that. If the nigga is broke, they're gonna tell him that. Oh, you broke ass nigga, you can't even do this. They're gonna tell him that. So that's the difference bitches aren't told what's wrong with them. They're not explained to why they are what they are. They've just been lied to the whole time, like you've been perfect. And most of these bitches are dumb. So that's what the whole point is. Like, they're not told that. And we are here to tell these bitches, you're dumb. Shut up. It's pretty simple.
Even up here talking to me right now, and you're so triggered by it, proves my point that women never get told that they're stupid.
Yeah.
Because you felt the need to come up and defend it because that's how rare it is to hear from a guy saying, yeah, women are retards.
No. I do think I do feel like a desire to defend that. And I don't
but that's what I'm trying to explain to you is that because you said, oh, well, men are stupid too, right? And I was like, yes. But the difference is no one gives a shit if I say men are retarded. People only care when I say women are retarded. Yeah. So much so that you came up to defend them.
No, I don't know.
And what's so crazy is he doesn't even understand what he's saying right now because he's still trying to defend them. Like, stop being a cuck, bro. You niggas are so cuckified.
You many other people too, of course.
You and I have extremely different experiences. I've had experiences with women, my friends, my sisters, my mom, where we're able to have conversations, and I'd like to believe that I can point out some of the bullshit that they're on, and they can point out a lot of the bullshit that I'm on, right? I mean, men and women, we're different, and that means we have to talk to each other in different ways to some degree, right?
Yeah, men are superior.
No, dude. I mean, I think we're equal.
They're not? We're equal?
I think we're equal in worth and value, right? I'm not saying that we're the same in every single way, but the worth and value that a man has is exactly the same as the worth and the value that a woman has.
Now, when it comes to like a human dignity standpoint, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, sure.
What other
but when it comes
matters?
to adding value to society, it's us 1,000%.
Well, it depends, like, what do you mean by value? Because if it wasn't for women, I mean, human beings wouldn't exist.
Well, they need a man to do that too. But
well,
yeah. So
like,
no, 100%.
And that's another
so
common misconception
so
that because see, we pedestalize women way too much.
I disagree.
Like the reality is that
I disagree. Nigga can't even finish talking for you even said some shit.
You know, outside of sex and having children, like women are effectively useless for society. Let's be very honest here.
No,
right?
That's evil, man.
No, I'm being honest here because, okay, let's look around here. The cameras, the lights, all these different structures that are built. Men built all of that. Women don't build anything. They just move in. And this is like considered like a very taboo thing to kind of understand that men are superior to women in almost every way. And we have to be because men have to add value to society. Women don't.
Look, you and I must have different experiences because I have professors at this school who have made a tremendous impact on me. I've had
nigga said professors, exactly, teachers, not building shit, not creating shit.
Teachers who have taught me so much.
Stupid.
I have sisters in my church.
Yeah, that's a part of the problem. Women control academia, and that's why it's getting cucked.
Okay, bud. I mean, I don't know. I've just had a lot of great people in my life who have played a tremendous amount of influence, and some of that's my mom, and my mom did a great job.
Look, I'm not saying all women are retards. There's some brilliant women out there, but for the most part, most of them are retards. Just like with men, most of them are retards.
Most of us are retards. Okay.
Yeah, people in general.
That's just so funny, like how he could just glaze over that. That's so fucking annoying to me. He could just glaze over that fact. Most niggas is retarded. He could just glaze right over that shit. He don't give a fuck when we say that shit. But as soon as he say most bitches is retarded, niggas is angry. That's why you niggas is so phony. It's easy to catch you niggas. It's easy to catch you sorry fucking niggas. It's easy. Phony ass niggas. You're not getting bitches for this. I'm sorry. She's not gonna fuck you. She's not gonna suck you for this, bro. I promise. Jesus Christ.
I'll agree with women are stupid only if we all agree that human beings in general are stupid.
Like what? He literally said, well, what about men? Are most men stupid? Yes. Why can't most women be stupid too now? Like, it's just so crazy how cucked you are, bro.
Stupid,
of course, but the difference is that with women, we don't call out their stupidity. Because we're always trying to fuck them, so we don't tell them what it really is.
Okay.
Every single one of you guys in here knows a dumb bitch that you're like, damn, this chick is annoying, but I'm trying to get laid.
I know a lot of dumb.
Let's be honest, bro. Every single one of you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I know a lot of.
Come on, man. You're like, how the fuck did this bitch get in here?
I know a lot of dumb guys
what the hell?
too. Oh yeah. I mean, look, you and I strongly disagree on that. And also,
bro has his girl on this fucking stands right now. That's why he's saying all this.
I'm trying to tell you, his girl is somewhere.
Yeah.
Defend you, my lady.
Yeah. And my second question was about the 6 million statement. Do you truly believe that it wasn't 6 million Jews who died in the Holocaust, or are you joking around?
Wait, you think 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust?
I think so, yes. I mean,
fuck no, bro.
I mean, you guys can laugh at me.
You guys silly.
But I mean, that's true. That's a fact. That's history, man.
No, bro.
6 million people died.
Dude. Yeah. So here's the thing. Let me just kind of go through this like it's in a simple fashion. Do you believe that Israel committed a genocide?
I'm honestly not super informed about it. I'm aware
That's fine.
I'm aware that the UN says that they have, right?
Fair.
Yeah.
Every genocide expert, every scholar pretty much has come out and said that what Israel did in Gaza is textbook definition of genocide, right? But you got Benjamin Netanyahu, all the Israeli, government officials, all their Hezbollah agents on social media saying it's not a genocide. They're denying a genocide. Meanwhile, we saw what they did in literally 4K, blowing up buildings, killing kids, destroying 90% of the structure, etc.
Shooting vaginas,
right? And they deny
shit
it
is fucking
being a
sick.
genocide. So if they have the capacity to lie to us with 4K evidence, what doesn't lead us to believe? Why would they not lie about a historical event that they've been able to draw their victimhood from
Who's
almost
they?
100 years ago, where there's very little documentation on it? If they would lie about a genocide in 4K, what tells you they wouldn't lie about the numbers from the 1940s, right? Or the 1930s. So my thing is, look, I'm not saying the Holocaust didn't happen. I'm not one of those guys. But what I am saying is I think the facts surrounding it and the numbers are a bit inflated to push out a certain narrative that allows them to...
They were dying. It wasn't... They were dying. It wasn't... Because it wasn't that many, but they were definitely dying.
Draw victimhood from. And then on top of that, keep in mind there's an entire economic structure built around the Holocaust, whether it's the museums, it's the Hollywood, it's the textbooks, etc., so the memoirs. So there's just a lot of inconsistencies with the official narrative. Look, World War II was a terrible time. Millions of people died. I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
But I definitely have questions about the official narrative that we got told about the Holocaust with that particular number of 6 million Jews being killed. Many people died during that time. But we only tend to pay attention to that. And they always use that as their excuse when they make their arguments. Oy vey, the Holocaust, oh, never again. As they're bombing and killing kids all across the Middle East.
Yeah, man. I think you just pointed at what's going on in Israel, which I have I don't really know anything about it. I'm very little support for. I have no support for it at all. I don't know.
Sure.
That has nothing to do with the Holocaust, dude.
It actually does quite a bit.
You just
Their entire victim narrative is propped up on the Holocaust, so they need to maintain that narrative.
Dude, I look. You know a lot more about this than I did.
That's fine.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure 6 million people died. And
Put it this way, bro. There
yeah.
weren't enough ovens for the cookies. I'll put it that way.
Dude, I mean, the cookies are human people. The cookies are human people, and you're
I'm not doubting that, but
you're
I'm just
making
saying
a
there weren't
joke,
enough.
though.
There weren't enough ovens.
You're making a joke about whether it be 270,000 Jews who died or 6 million people.
Yeah, it's an
20 million Christians were killed in the Bolshevik Revolution. Why are we not talking about the 20 million Christians that were killed? Why does nobody care about that one? Why are we so hyped up on this one?
atrocity no matter what.
You call them cookies.
Yeah, there weren't enough. The Cookie Monster definitely didn't have enough ovens for the event. Definitely not.
This is God bless you, sir, and God bless everyone here. This is evil. This is really.
Oh,
evil.
now this is evil. Telling the truth is evil now.
100% it is. Thank you for speaking with me, though.
Yeah, no worries. Who's up next?
He said, "This is evil." I didn't make not one fucking point, but this is evil.
Hey Myron, how are
I
you?
just fucking repeated what
What's
you
up, man?
said and said I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid. I just
Oh, yeah,
wasted
from Palestine?
time.
Cool. But yeah, just
Silwad.
From 1948, my family's village got eliminated by Israel.
yeah. No, I know.
I do have something to say about the previous guy.
Sure.
He said he's not aware. Like 6
Are you guys
million-
both Palestinian?
Yeah, Palestinian.
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. So he said that he's not aware of like the 6 million people. He's not sure. Like he's not aware about what's happening in Gaza.
Yeah.
But he's aware of the 6 million people dying in the Holocaust.
Right. That's
I
just
don't
so-
know.
that's
Like
just so
I haven't
crazy.
looked into the Holocaust, whether it's fake or not. But if you're not aware about what's happening currently, how can you be aware of something that's happened in the 1940s? I'm not like saying this many people died, or like I'm not saying it's fake, but how can you not be aware of something that's in front of our eyes to the previous guy?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, and that's my argument is like, look, if they're going to deny a genocide, what makes you think that they wouldn't lie about a historical event that gives them an enormous amount of power, victimhood, and there's a financial and commercial incentive to, continue to, push that narrative, right? There's like Holocaust museums everywhere that make millions upon millions of dollars.
You
So-
can't even find history on my village. I'm from Tabariya.
Yeah.
Tabariya, 1948. And if you actually look into details on it, right? Jewish and Muslims lived together. My grandfather lived with the Jewish community. They massacred their own Jewish community. I've read this and I've done detail about this. So I appreciate you, Myron, for speaking on this, because never have this been publicized like this. Obviously, I don't agree with all the points, you know. I feel like, you know, you can just be like a little less sense on Indians being stinky and all that type of shit, because you feel me, like, you know, it's more professional, you know.
Hey, man,
you don't
curry
have
sucks,
to,
bro.
You
I mean, I
you
can't
know,
lie
like,
about
I
that.
understand where you're coming from, but like.
Hey, Myron, quick
Yo.
question. So you said women, like, do you think that they deserve to like stay in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Like, so
I'm
what
a
is
firm
your
believer in keeping them in the kitchen, yes.
So what is your, like, do you have like a plan that you could talk about? Like, how do you plan to get that to happen? Is there like a certain year, or like, is
Oh,
it-
like how we're going to get women back in the kitchen?
yeah, like how do you
Oh,
plan
you
on
would-
getting
that is
women
never
back in
gonna
the
happen
kitchen
again.
and
That is never
cooking
gonna
and
happen
making
again.
sandwiches?
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
is
So the
never
plan
gonna
is this.
happen,
Basically, we need to start incentivizing women to get back in the kitchen. So we have to do it in waves. So my plan is, you know, like you go to
That'll never
airport and they say
happen.
like, you know, group 1 can board, group 2 can board.
Yeah.
Yeah, so group 1 is going to be the hot girls. We're going to send them back to the kitchen first, right? So, hey, all you bimbos that are hot, you can get back in the kitchen first. Then it's going to be the mid girls. Hey, you guys can get back in the kitchen now. And then lastly, it'll be the fat bitches. We tell them they can get back in the
Thank you.
kitchen, but they can't eat anything. So that's kind of how we're going to do it. We got to do this shit in waves. You know, we can't just tell all of them to go back at the same time. It's not going to work, right? Right? So we got to do it slowly but surely. Hot ones first, mids after, then fat ones last, and then we go from there.
All right, and then sorry, one last question.
Yeah.
So, in like one of your
Imaginary
debates
scenario, that shit would
previously,
never happen.
like there was the girl you were arguing with. I forgot what college.
Yeah.
But you were like, "Where's Muhammad when you need him?"
Yeah.
Do you?
Oh, yeah, it was like a chick. Yeah, she was wearing a
she
hijab. I was like,
she
why
was
is she
low key
talking?
annoying. She was
Yeah.
low key annoying. Like, I'll give you that.
Yeah, bro.
But I wanted to ask, like, you're Muslim, right?
Yeah.
So like, why do you refer like to our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as like Muhammad, or like, why is there certain things you do?
Well, I wasn't
that are-
talking about the prophet in that context. I said, where's, because Muhammad's a popular name. So I was like,
Okay.
where's
So
a
you're
Muhammad
saying
to
like
take it?
Muhammad in general?
Yeah, like a Muhammad in
Okay,
general.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was just curious. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Abdul, whatever you want to say. I say Abdul
Not when
with
it
the
comes
rocks
to
all the
the
time, too.
religion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, Myron.
No problem, man.
Hey, do we get pics with you at the end?
Yeah, sure.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
all
I'm going
right,
to stick
bet.
around and can take pictures with everybody.
What
Don't
time
worry.
are you here until?
As long as I need to be, man. I'm not Hollywood.
All right, bet.
You guys know it.
You know,
Yeah, man.
The
One more
goat,
thing I want to
nigga.
add to that too, you know, because look, I got a mom and
They
I have
smart.
sisters too. One thing I don't agree on you is,
Hype.
you know, women are not stupid. Women are actually really intelligent. That's one thing I want to add to this. Coming from a family, my mom has done a lot of shit in my family. So for women to say women are stupid, man, that's kind of hard.
Niggas be so sensitive, bro. Jesus Christ. Just because you hear women are stupid don't mean your mama's stupid. Jesus, y'all niggas be so sensitive, bro. Like,
But on the
grow
side
some
from that,
fucking nuts.
follow my TikTok, Mo Trades, MOETRADEZ. I teach about the stock market and teach you how to escape the matrix, escape this shit. All right, escape this shit, cause this is the matrix.
All right.
Hey, real quick, I don't think women are stupid. Like, I'm back up, but like
He has this girl in the audience, too, guys. Relax.
I
Both of them got their girls in the audience, man. They got to say something.
like when you say
up there and you did a challenge about women.
when you say like women are stupid, could you like elaborate on that like a little more? Like,
Yeah. When I say that, what I mean when I say women are stupid is, well, number one, they're easier to sell to, they're easier to market to.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Number two, they buy into the lie of feminism, thinking that chasing a career and money and income and status is going to make them happy and fulfill them overall. And then number three, a lot of them are whores, and they don't realize that being a whore is going to fuck them up long term with finding a partner.
So like, do you think would you trust like a woman to be your pilot, like on a plane?
Fuck no.
Crazy. I don't even
Fuck
trust
no.
my
Do you
fucking
think
Dude,
they're
I don't even
drive.
trust women to be my Uber driver. If I order Uber and I see a female, dude, I cancel.
Like, do you
Dead
think-
ass.
is it because they're too emotional, or like what is it? What is it in particular?
But look, let me be very clear about this. Are all women stupid? No. There's obviously a small group of women that are competent, that can do things that men can do, that aren't morons. But the reality is a majority are stupid because there's no incentive for them to be smart and or be competent, because women, so with a man, right?
Yeah.
If we're a loser, when you go outside and you talk to people and you
You're
present
gonna know
yourself,
you're a loser.
you will know very quickly where you stand socially. If you're a loser, girls don't want to have sex with you, guys don't want to be friends with you, you're not able to get a job. Like, there's a direct mirror reflection of your inadequacies as a
God.
man.
You see that every day.
As a woman, though, you could be a bumbling, bimbo, dumb whore with an STI, and people still treat you
And niggas
like
will
you're
still
the
try
best
to
thing
fuck
ever.
the shit out you. And niggas will still try to fuck you with no condom. Niggas don't give a fuck. So I'm trying to tell you, like, these bitches have been have really been fucked because they think shit is just Disney World, and it's not. It really isn't.
Sliced bread, because women rarely get held accountable for their poor decisions. They're rarely told the truth about their deficiencies.
100 woman versus accountability for sure.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. So like with them, they kind of operate. They don't know where they really stand. Versus as men, we know where we stand very quickly.
All right, thank you.
No worries. Who's up next? Any angry feminists? Any? Okay, cool.
Black Friday starts now with the new Peloton cross-training bike. Ride further with training and insights tailored to you.
Myron, welcome to The Ohio State University, man.
Hey,
We're
man,
glad
I'm
you're
happy
here,
to be
brother.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
man.
happy to be here, man.
Want to have a proud, I just want to have a very respectful debate with you, man. And
Sure.
Ultimately, whatever I ask, I give the glory to Jesus Christ for, man. I'm just very thankful to be here to talk to you right now.
All right, awesome.
So, man, it's great to see you in person. So, anyway, I have a major question for you. I wrote it down because I want to make sure ultimately that I'm not just spitting up here my emotions of how I feel, rather having some logical fact. So, Myron, you've spoken critically about illegal immigration and border enforcement, but what's your stance on expanding U.S. immigration system to include more room for legitimate asylum cases and a clearer pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants already living in our country? Do you believe America should modernize and grow its immigration system or tighten it further?
Tighten it.
Yeah, so good question. Really good question. So
Need to
my
be
stance
tight
on
as
immigration is this.
Fucking China.
And for those of you that don't know, just quickly give you guys my background. Before I did this podcasting stuff, I was a special agent with Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, for 7 years as an agent, and I worked for the agency a total of 10 years, 3 years as an intern, and then 7 years as an agent. I started my career in Laredo, Texas, where I did everything from drug trafficking to human trafficking to money laundering, cartel violence, kidnappings, all that type of stuff. So I did that for a very long time. Then I started doing the podcast stuff where I talk to women and lose even more hair. So when it comes to immigration, it's a topic that I'm fairly familiar with. So my thing is this. We need to reform our immigration system. It's completely broken. The INA is outdated. We need to update it for modern society now. So I do think that we need, an immigration moratorium for somewhere between anywhere from 1 to 10 years. And we need to reform our entire immigration system and our visa system because it's completely broken and we're getting beat on so many different angles.
Because I just feel like that's the one area Trump needs to kind of be better at. I mean, like, look at what he's brought to the country with the $17 trillion of investments that he's bringing into America and, like, making America great again.
The system is absolutely broken and exploited. And unfortunately, I wish the American public knew more about this. But it's not just us getting beat on the southwest border of them coming in. We also have an enormous amount of people that come here legally and then overstay their visas. I know a lot of obviously we're here in the university. Some of you guys might be here on an F1 visa. That's a visa that's heavily exploited by foreign nationals all the time, J1 visas. Also, a lot of people from first world countries that have visa waivers like Canada, Australia, England, etc. A lot of these people come without any type of documents and just overstay. So that's another problem as well when it comes to immigration, where lots of people abuse the system that come here legally as well, not just people that come in illegally.
Yeah, and it's just a big detriment to America. And I mean, I don't know. It's very crazy. And I have one more thing for you.
Sure.
I'm very respectful of your religion, like you believe what you believe.
Yep.
So my question is, and I would love insight on this. Jesus says that he's the way, the truth, and the life, and no one will come to the Father except through me. As being Muslim, right?
Yeah.
How do you take that and not only deepen your own faith, but also strengthen other people around you by seeing that? Because the Bible has been a credible book, as several hundred people have written it, but the nuances of how it's all interconnected. I mean, I just kind of want your opinion on that and just.
So I'll be honest, I'm not really a religious guy. I have an enormous amount of respect for anybody from the book, whether, Jewish, Muslim, or Christian, and that's in our faith as well. But I don't really consider myself that much of a religious guy. I grew up Muslim, but am I devout? No. I am studying it in other religions as well because I do think it's important to understand different religions, especially when it comes to understanding geopolitical affairs as well. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I'm not a super religious person at all. But, for those that are religious, I think it's great. I think it's a fantastic way to live your life and have some type of guidance.
Do you ever feel like you'd fall into the political spectrum if you had a chance?
into the political
run like for office and anything like that.
Man,
because I mean, I feel like people forget that you're allowed to have your First Amendment right. Because like, you know, people will crap on you and be like, oh, he just wants to tell women to go make a sandwich. You know, I mean, that's okay. But you know, people in America, like, that's why it's the best nation we ever have. The God-given freedom of religion, you know, and pursuing anything that you want. It's the greatest country ever. So.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's what sets us apart from these other countries. Like, you look at the UK, people go to jail for Twitter. You know what I mean? The UK is cooked, Canada's cooked.
Sad.
Like, we're by far the best country. You know, yeah, we have our problems with crime and everything else like that, but I do think in general, when it comes to making money, opportunity, the United States is by far the best. I still think we're the best. But, yeah, I mean, getting into the political scene, I don't know. I mean, I'm really controversial, but I do think that we are getting a shift here. You know, we've seen the explosion of my buddy Nick Fuentes. And people are starting to really realize that, like, the old way of governing and, you know, this unequivocal support of Israel and the neocon mantra is kind of dying out. So we might get a new America where we're actually going to put America first, and we might need more radical people at the forefront. So we'll see what happens. But I'll tell you this, man, if I ever got into office, we'd cut that crime immediately. I think that's one of the biggest problems we have in the United States.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all the sanctuary cities that are being
I think we need to bring torture back, if I'm going to be honest.
To what degree, if I may ask? Like what do we legitimize as proper thing for, like, you know, people who are facing crimes? Like, you know, I very much take it from a biblical sense of an eye for an eye, and I believe, like, the death sentence for people that take a life to have their life taken.
Yeah.
Because,
So
you know,
if I became Fuhrer or president, what I would do is or Attorney General or whatever. I think what I would do is I'd bring torture back. I'd start a new channel. I'd start a network. It'd be called the WBNN, or the Waterboard Niggas Network. And what we would do is, is anyone that assaults children, school shooters, crazies that, like, stab women on trains, right? Like the other guy that did that in I think it was North or South Carolina.
Yeah.
You got to just torture these guys and publicly do it, because the reason why is that these guys, a lot of times, just executing them isn't enough. You need to set a public example, and then also you need to deter others. And the problem with a lot of these criminals is they're egomaniacs. So them being tortured in front of a bunch of people and suffering and looking like a bitch will make them think twice about it, and it might deter other people, because, you know, if you're going to sit there and you're going to, you know, because I used to investigate pedophiles as well. One of the things that HSI does is child exploitation, big case, arrested many pedophiles and very violent individuals. Some of these people need to be made an example out of, and just executing them in front of their family members isn't enough. And I think that's what we need to do to send a very strong message that if you do this,
not tolerated.
You're going to eternally suffer, just like the families you've made. It's not enough for you to just go ahead and be like, oh yeah, let's just give them a lethal injection and call it a day. Fuck that. You
like
got to
releasing all the criminals that keep doing countless crimes in, like, California, and, like, all these other Democratic-led states. It's just crazy to me.
You got to go
sorry
hard on
that
crime.
I'm talking a lot. I just
no,
love
it's fine. It's
politics more
fine.
than anything.
It's
So
you got to
kick
go
me
hard
off
on
whenever
crime.
you need to. So
No, you're good. But just I'll end it here.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to go ahead and murder people, right, like what we saw on that train, for example, where you just stabbed that woman in the neck for no reason.
Yeah.
You not only do you not deserve freedom, you deserve to be tortured in front of everyone, so other people can know that this is going to be completely intolerable. And I'd make sure it was for free as well. We'd stream it live. You know, stay sponsored, of course. You don't got to pay no pay-per-view, and that way you can look and see. This is what happens to you when you hurt innocent people.
Do some dumb shit.
Well, Myron, thank you for your time. God bless you, and I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, man.
Have an amazing night.
Thank you.
Yo, these niggas did this for 3 hours. That is crazy. But nah, we gonna have to go through that shit. That is crazy. 3 hours? God damn. But yeah, let's see what Nick talking about with the end of Donald Trump, even though we already knew it was over for him when he lied about the files and it came out about the files and it came in the files. No, did he? Yeah, we knew it was over. It was a wrap for him, but let's see what Nick has to say about this.
Featured story for tonight, this Jeffrey Epstein bill. This is huge. The big news today is that the discharge petition, which was created by Ro Khanna, the Democrat, Thomas Massie, the Republican, has finally been brought to the floor of the U.S. House and was passed almost unanimously. This is the bill that will compel the DOJ to release all the Epstein files. Today it passed unanimously. Now it goes to the U.S. Senate, where it has already been agreed upon that it will pass unanimously there as well. And then quickly it will move to the White House, where President Trump says that he will sign it. So this is an unbelievable earthquake. Because again, as I said at the beginning of the show, and we'll work through some of the timeline, President Trump has been working tirelessly and spending enormous political capital basically since he took office to prevent exactly this from happening. Ever since January of this year, so 10 months ago, Trump has been fighting, and he's come up with every trick. He tried to distract the people. He tried to deceive the people.
Every month, this Airbnb pays me about $2,700 in semi-passive income. Now, here's the thing. I don't own it.
He tried to bury and cover up the Epstein files, tried to stall Congress and prevent them from considering it. He threw his weight around. He used intimidation, tried to bully Republicans, his supporters, and his political allies to stop talking about it. He did everything, pulled out every stop. And in the end, not only did it not work, but in the final week, it looks like there was this boiling over. And in the end, not only did the bill pass, but it passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. And go figure. Just a week ago, you had 4 Democrats, or was it 6 or 7 Democrats? 6 Democrats, I think it was, held up the entire U.S. Senate, shut down the government for over 40 days, over nothing. Think about it. 6 Democrats shut down the entire government, the longest shutdown in history, for 45 days.
I'm about to say the longest.
They were going to shut down air travel during Thanksgiving. They were going to prevent food stamps from going out to 40 million people. They furloughed much of the government. I knew many people in government that didn't get paid for a month. TSA wasn't getting paid. You had hour-long security lines in Texas at LaGuardia, New York, over nothing. And this week, every single member, they all got together. 2 weeks ago, they could barely come to an agreement to let the planes fly during Thanksgiving and Christmas. And now every single member, Republican and Democrat, House and Senate, has come together and agreed we want the Epstein files against the wishes of the president. This is a coup. This is a mutiny. Make no mistake about it. That's the significance of it. Trump lost on this one.
Yes, he did. And you should ask yourself why. Because if Donald Trump doesn't even want to listen to his own people, why would the people still listen to Donald Trump? And
exactly. And that's the point that we try to get to everybody, is that everything, once you realize, like I said, once you realize like everything is just Israel, it gets redundant, and it becomes like a continuous cycle of bullshit, and niggas is tired of hearing bullshit. Shout out to Purge.
he effed it up himself for doing all these things.
And this is a story. This is from The Hill. It says, quote, the Senate agreed by unanimous consent on Tuesday to approve a House-passed bill that will require the Justice Department to release all unclassified records and documents related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, sending the bill to President Trump's desk for a signature. Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer on Tuesday received unanimous consent to approve the Epstein Files Transparency Act upon receipt of the legislation from the House, only hours after the lower chamber voted 427-1 to approve it. The Democratic leader received approval from all 99 of his colleagues to deem the bill passed as soon as the Senate receives the legislation from the House. Senate aides said they expected that formality to happen either tonight or tomorrow morning. Trump says he will sign the legislation after spending months discrediting it, a sign that the wave of public support for greater disclosure of what the DOJ collected from its investigations of Epstein had become too strong to oppose in Washington. Speaker Mike Johnson, who voted for the legislation earlier Tuesday, accused the Democrats of using it to score political points. And get this, this is the Speaker of the House, urged Senate Republicans to make changes to the bill to, quote, make sure we don't do permanent damage to the political system. What did he mean by that? So the House of Representatives votes unanimously for the Epstein Transparency Act. It forces the Department of Justice to release all the remaining Epstein records and documents in their custody. And the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, says, well, we should consider some amendments and we should restrict the scope of the disclosure. In other words, they want to keep some files hidden.
Right.
Why? Mike Johnson says, quote, to make sure we don't do permanent damage to the political system. What
Yikes, that means it's a lot of niggas in that file.
would be permanently damaging to the political system about releasing all the files?
Unless everybody is in the files.
See, they're giving the game away here. And what they're telling us is that at the highest levels, probably people on both sides are implicated in the disclosure.
Yep.
That Jeffrey Epstein, running a trafficking blackmail ring, that's what it is. He worked with fashion and modeling agencies to recruit girls, in particular girls. He threw lavish parties using billionaire money, maybe from foreign governments, maybe from the Mega Group, a collection of pro-Israel billionaires. And with his lavish parties, his island, his New York City house, and the girls, he brought government officials, Hollywood celebrities, powerful businessmen to these parties, secretly recorded them using cameras and microphones to blackmail them. And then I believe, and it's my understanding, that then he sold the blackmail. He functioned as sort of an intelligence mercenary, working with CIA, working with Israeli military intelligence, working with MI6. And it appeared to form some kind of triangle between the Labour Party in England, the Labour Party in Israel, and the Democratic Party in the United States, but also overlap with all the other political actors in those countries, and forming something like a intelligence mercenary outfit triangulating between these three countries, which is a very conspicuous triangle. And Mike Johnson says we cannot release all the files pertaining to this situation because it might permanently damage the political system. Why? Because it might undermine its legitimacy and credibility? If we found out that the government was being controlled using blackmail and bribery?
And this is the reason why people, they don't trust politics anymore. Because these people on the higher levels, these elite people, they are literally like playing games. And we have no clue about it. They don't even want us to know what's really...
It's not even like they're playing games. They're being played. So the game could be played. They're literally they're the game. They're the puppets being played with the money. Like, they're not even playing the game. They wish they could play the game. We know who's playing that game.
Going on. Maybe our country is being held hostage by another country. We have no idea. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, because also, why would Donald Trump almost try everything to cover this up, the release of the Epstein files, if he was not in there, right? If you have nothing to hide, you would release it. So, with other words, he didn't want to release these files because I feel like he is probably in these files.
No, I don't even feel like I know he's in them files. And I know a lot of them niggas are in them files as well. Like, after you figure out so much shit, bro, you have to actually, after a certain point, it's just like, bro, like, you can't, like, why wouldn't they? Why if that was the case, they would have done it. They do that with everything else. They drop everything else as a bomb on niggas. They couldn't wait to get rid of Trump before he became president. So why would it take long to fucking do this? Niggas are in it.
Because it would undermine confidence.
Stupid.
In our government, in our democracy. if we learned that our civilian elected leaders were not answering to the will of the people, but were actually being controlled by foreign governments, intel agencies, that our tax money, that our government, our military, our regulations are actually under the control of shadowy forces that are engaged in trafficking and blackmail, working for God only knows who? Why would we want to maintain a political order based on that?
Right.
That's sort of the whole point. We want this to destroy the political system.
Yep.
Were we not clear about that?
Right. But
that's the whole
that's
point.
why I said, which nobody could hear, but that's why I said last stream, like, what's going to happen in the next couple of years is going to get scary because niggas are getting tired of this shit. And I don't know if y'all have ever seen a revolution, but they're not usually like fun. Okay, and I'm not saying that we're going to have fun or any of that stuff, or it's going to be an exciting time, because it's not. It's going to be really, really bad. But hopefully we can figure out a solution before it gets to that level of destruction.
Point. That's the whole point, by the way, of the Trump movement. The political system is not working for the people. The political system is not answerable or accountable to the people because the political system is corrupt. And at these bottlenecks, this is where intelligence, mercenaries, foreign governments, money is exercising undue influence in a way that is concealed from the public for an agenda that we don't know about and maybe we don't even understand. Our sovereignty, our freedom, our liberty, our independence has been stolen from us by this system. Why would we want to maintain this system?
Right.
That's the goal. The system is corrupt. The system has to be destroyed. That's the whole point, is to undermine its credibility, undermine its legitimacy, so that it can be overthrown and replaced.
Yep.
And we're not calling for a violent revolution. We have elections in this country. That's what elections are for.
Right.
We have a constitution.
We just have to wait.
And if we have free speech, if we have our First Amendment, if we're able to access the public square on social media, then the will of the people should overpower the money. In this case, if we find out who was on the island, we're going to vote to replace everybody that was complicit in it.
Right.
And that might give you some hope that we can peacefully replace the political system. That's the whole point. Johnson says we can't give away the whole game because then it might undermine the political system. Why? Because you're all guilty? Is that it? Because it's all true? Because you're all guilty and you know that if we saw all the Epstein files, nobody would pay their taxes, nobody would vote, because why would you?
Tracks with catchy drum sequences have been going viral recently.
You'd be cooked.
What would be the point?
Exactly.
You're paying parking tickets while they're being blackmailed for...
Right. And they're fucking around with the nasty, like that. That's the only thing I hate. That's the one thing I hate. I hate it. When niggas are doing bad shit and worried about other niggas. Why are you worried about other niggas and you're doing bad shit? Okay? You shouldn't be worried about why these niggas aren't doing such, because you're doing bad shit. Okay? That shit always kills me. Like, it's always a nigga who's doing bad shit worried about other niggas doing.
You're paying taxes. You're forking over 25% every year.
3
months out of the year, you're working for the government, and that money is being controlled by people that were on the island? Yeah, hopefully there would be a revolution the day after that. Hopefully there would be. Hopefully the political order would collapse the next day. That's sort of the point. And you and Kevin McCarthy and Frank Luntz and Trump and Bill Clinton and all of it. Yeah, the whole point is to throw all of them out. And I don't even care who replaces them. They say, what about the progressive left? What about them?
They do the same
shit. They say, what about the reactionary right? What about it? So anyway, that's his comments on it, but it goes on. Thankfully, Johnson was not successful. Johnson's pleas fell flat after Representative Thomas Massie, the lead Republican co-sponsor of the bill, warned the Senate, do not muck it up. The House passed a legislation days after a discharge petition circulated by Massey and Ro Khanna, the lead Democrat sponsor, garnered 218 signatures to force the bill to the floor. 4 Republicans signed the petition: Massey and Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, and Representative Lauren Boebert, to help turn the tide in favor of the legislation. So let's go over the timeline here just to give you a quick refresh. So Trump promises during the election total transparency. He says we're going to release all the files. We'll be the most transparent administration in history.
Let's do that 2024 November.
He gets into office, and that is not the case. Weeks go by, and there is no word on the Epstein files. Finally, in the spring, he invites these idiot conservative influencers to the White House, like Mike Cernovich, who is about as dumb as he looks, Jack Posobiec, corniest person in politics, Scott Presler in his cowboy boots, D.C. Drano, otherwise known as Rogan O'Handley, but don't be confused by his Irish name, he is Jewish, among others. And you remember they take the infamous photo op. They're posing outside the East Wing with their binders that say Epstein files. And people say, what the fuck is this? Put them online. Don't put the Epstein files on paper in a binder that you give to like these idiot conservative influencers.
Exactly, and I completely agree with this, because this just shows you that it's all fake almost. These binders, do you really believe they give like this high intelligence information to like these random conservative right-wing influencers? No, this is just all made up. This is what like to trick the people. Oh look, we gave the files to them, everything is fine now. No, they didn't. They are hiding the most important information probably, and this is also what I tried to say earlier. You and me, we probably have no idea what is actually going on behind the scenes in this country, and if we would find out, we would freak out. Believe me, many people, they have no clue what is going on, and maybe it's even better. But if you really would find out what is going on in our country, I feel like you would become crazy. You would become crazy. And this is the reason why they don't want us to find out. And I'm not saying that all politicians are bad. Of course not.
Right.
You have some good ones. I hope so at least. But these dirty games constantly, they're playing games behind our backs with our tax money. Meanwhile, with our vote, don't forget, these politicians work for you and me. They work for us. We pay so many taxes.
Nah, Purge is spitting right now. We just don't have time. We just don't have time, Purge.
Now you can get Zaxby's Asian Sensation flavor on a salad, their famous chicken fingers, or an...
So the conservative influence come home, put it online so that we can see it. So the conservative influencers come home, they upload the binder, and people say, okay, so we've seen all these files before. It's a fake out. So let's be very clear about what took place there. They tried to trick us. That's what that was. That was not an accident. That was not a mistake. They intentionally tried to deceive the public. And they insulted their base. The GOP and the Trump administration and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel.
And then he did it again in June. Was it June or July?
They gave a giant middle finger to the base. The base said, we want the files. And they said, oh, well, here's some things that we already released in a gimmicky binder with your favorite influencers on Twitter. And they thought that, I don't know, no one was going to read them. They thought that people would see Epstein files on the binder.
And just say, fuck it, he
good
dropped
enough
them.
for me. I guess they were released. That was a trick. They lied. They tried to deceive us so that they can move on and never bring it up again. But people were hip, and people said, no, these are not the files. So then Pam Bondi and Kash Patel come out and they say, well, we'll release some very soon. They're on my desk. We're going to release them soon. So then they postponed it. That was a lie. And they thought that maybe people would forget about it. So first they tried to trick us. Then they tried to get us to forget about it. They thought we would just maybe
Trump
stop
said, they don't exist. They just don't exist.
Then Trump orders an investigation into the files. Later on in the spring, he orders the FBI to look for all the instances of his name in the files. And it turns out the FBI finds thousands of mentions of Trump in the files. Trump lies to the press and said, I didn't do that. I don't know if my name is in the files. I don't know what's happening. He lies. In July, famously, the DOJ pushes the memo that says that there are no files. So again, they lied, they tried to trick us, then they tried to postpone it. Then they lied and said the files don't exist. And people said, are you serious? Of course they exist. First of all, you promised to release them. Second of all, you pretended to release them. Third of all, you said they were on your desk. Now they don't exist. So that's a lie. And very quickly, the narrative surrounding the files collapsed. And you might remember it was in the middle of July that the narrative changed about a dozen times. And Trump comes out and says, well, maybe the files exist, but it's all material. The only files are photos and videos of. Then he comes out and says, well, maybe the files are real, but they're all fake. It's a hoax. Maybe the files are real, but they're not really real. Then, and this was the worst, this is maybe the worst thing that was said all year, Trump comes out and says, if you think there are files and if you care about it, he says, you are a traitor. You're working with the Democrats, and I don't even want your vote because you're stupid. He said this to his voters. So think of it. Trump promises to release the files, tries to trick us into thinking he did, then lied to us and said, we'll release them later, then lied again and said they don't actually exist, even though he knew they did.
This is why I believe them niggas, like, Trump wish he could play the game. This nigga is he's not even playing the game. He's just playing by the rules right now. Like he's being a good boy. Like he wish he could be where he's controlling. He doesn't control shit, bro. Like, and that's what niggas don't understand is that Trump had so much money. He shouldn't have been controlled by nothing, but that's how much control they have. That's how much they controlling Trump. Like, and obviously you see where his head is at now. So,
and this is why I'm surprised.
Shout out to Purge. Shout out to Purge. We don't got all day, Purge. Fuck.
They said that's not good enough. We want them. Trump says, well, I hate you. You're the problem, and I don't want your support anyway. Amazing politics. But it gets better. This is where we enter into the next phase of the Epstein file scandal. That was the initial effort to distract, to defer, to suppress. Phase 2 comes into play when Thomas Massie leads the charge.
When you've got a classic ride, you make time.
And right up towards the beginning of the summer recess, Thomas Massie, a Republican, and Ro Khanna, a Democrat, come together and they file a discharge petition. And what this says is that if a majority in Congress vote in this procedural motion, then they can force a bill to come to the floor for a vote. In other words, let's say the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, doesn't want to vote on whether to release the Epstein files. The discharge petition overpowers this. And how does it work? You get all the Democrats plus a few Republicans. The Democrats are in the minority by only a handful of votes. So if you get all the Democrats with a handful of Republicans, you can cobble together a majority. And if they use the discharge petition, they can bypass Mike Johnson, the Speaker, and they can force the whole body to vote on whether to release the Epstein files, which is what they do. So Massie files a discharge petition. And it looks like, inevitably, this bill is going to be brought to the floor for a vote. So what does Mike Johnson do? On the order of Donald Trump, Mike Johnson adjourns Congress early. In other words, Congress was going to go on vacation in August. Mike Johnson says, we will stop all the major business of this body 2 weeks early. For one reason, because Trump told him to, because if he didn't, they would take up the Epstein file bill.
Exactly, like Nick is spot on, and this just shows you that you always should be very careful about if you trust these politicians or no, because most of the times it turns out that they act like they are good for you and me, but in reality they aren't. They literally they care about themselves, and maybe they care about like their family and people.
No, they care about their family because they know that they'll get off if they don't listen to whatever the fuck is going on. And am I giving them an excuse? Hell no. Because if anything, you should be letting us know what the fuck is going on. Fuck that shit. Like, you should be, you have too much money to be hiding them niggas to not let us know what's going on. So it's like, they're just scared. Like, they be scared and they be wanting, they rather get a check than really tell the truth. And it's sad because we're getting the consequences of all those actions, not them.
Who are close to them, but they don't really care about the average Americans. And this is very important because we vote for them, they work for us, and they should help you and me instead of trying to cover everything up to like not let us know the reality, because most of the times these people, they don't want you and me to know what's actually going on in our country. And this is kind of shocking if you ask me, because we have all the right to know what is going on, but all these whole Epstein files saga, it just proves you again that like everything what is going on in our country, it feels like one big joke. It hurts to say, but I almost feel like our country is becoming a joke. Everything what's going on, everything what they are doing, they should like make this country better instead of like constantly being busy with trying to cover this up, trying to cover that up. We want to know what's actually going on. We want to make this country a better country, so we should stop wasting our time in all this nonsense.
And that's why like I was saying the other day, Destiny was like, how can they hide stuff? We have phones. It's pretty easy to hide stuff when you control the media and everything when you control everything in your country. It's pretty easy not to get stuff out. Just like how that white boy was like, well, that's come from him being ignorant. But now it's gonna be a lot harder to do a genocide because there's media in Israel that isn't Jewish. So now they have their perspective, the Arabs, the Palestinians perspective on what's going on. So there wasn't that before. You see what I'm saying? There wasn't that before. So now that we have that type of stuff, we can see what's going on. Like with Sudan, we saw what was going on because one of them dumbass niggas was recording while they were murdering the people. It was fucking sick. So if you don't know how can I put this? It's the revolution's gonna come because people are starting to see what's going on because social media is putting it more out in front of you quicker. Okay, so I don't have to wait a year or a couple or a month for the mail to come for the news to come and say, oh God, this is what happened. Like, I don't have to do all that. We get this shit immediately. So I'm trying to tell you guys this. Oh my God, it's going to get scary. It's going to get scary. If we don't figure out a way to elect politicians out of the government that don't have some undying allegiance to Israel, it's going to get scary. And I definitely don't want to see that at all. Like, I don't want to see that ever. But, yeah. It's real tough out here, guys. It's really not tough, but like it's real, it's serious, and people are waking up. Hopefully enough people wake up to where we can actually do something, but if not, it could get real crazy real quick. So y'all make sure pay attention to what's going on. That's why I try to keep up with everything. And while I'm at while I'm at work, I'm researching, I'm looking up stuff so that I have the knowledge that I need for anything that goes on, or what if anything happens, I can understand what it is. Because if you don't know what's going on, you're not gonna, like, if you don't know the history or anything, like, you're just a fucking sheep out here walking around listening. That's what I'm saying. Sheep going to work, come home, going to work, come home, going to work. Sheep. So I don't plan on being anybody's sheep. I want to know what's going on. I need to know how and why the government is doing this and why this is happening. You need to know what's going on in your country. It's your fucking country. If you don't care about your country, then who will? But yeah, I appreciate Purge for the video. This was a nice Wednesday. We were fucking late today. I was super late, and I was late getting on. But I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Finally fixed the fucking audio. Hopefully it'll work again next stream on Friday. But yeah, we'll see y'all boys on Friday. We will definitely we'll probably do this the whole stream since this is fucking 3 hours. So we'll probably do that the whole stream. But yeah, I will see y'all boys on
The bitch shaking it, showing it. You this, you that. We laughing at them together. Oh! So stop treating these like they mean something.
Let's go to TikTok.